Hi everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and I'm excited today because we went to the flea market and we hit a big score. We've got some fantastic retro Star Trek magazines to look at, and let's just jump right in and get started. Oh, as you can see, we found more than just magazines at the flea market today. Oh, come on. Here we go. So, if you haven't seen these are just a fun little TVs that play scenes from different television programs. And I've never been able to. Well, turn that down. I've never been able to find one of these. I probably could if I looked on eBay hard enough, but just, it's always funner to find them out in the wild. So this was there at the flea market for the low, low price of just $8. So let's watch a couple scenes here before we get started. And you can change the channel here on it. Flip through the scenes. Oh, here we go. Kirk versus the Gorn captain. But anyway, very fun little thing to have. Fun little thing to sit on your desk there. But let's get down to business here. So we went to the flea market, and like I said, this guy had a box of sci-fi magazines, star logs, all sorts of stuff. And digging through, I was able to find quite a few Star Trek ones. And he wasn't being too cheap with them, so I couldn't walk away with the whole stack. So I had to pick out what I thought was the very best out of that grouping there. So let's jump right in and have a look here. So now the first one is actually an old Star Trek comic. So this one is from 1978 and looks like contains two stories, A Bomb in Time and the Psycho Crystals. You can see the ad on the back here. But I haven't read through all of this yet, but we'll just kind of flip through here briefly. And you can see there's some kind of time travel shenanigans going on, which is always fun. But, classic 70s art style that you would expect to see in one of these comics. So we got like Kirk here in the Old West. Let's see if we can get a closer look here. So I will sit down and read through this at some point, but I had never seen a comic like this before with this kind of hard cover, so I like that. That was cool. Now, getting into the actual magazines here. So here's one of the just kind of sci-fi magazines that the guy had, and this was Looking Forward to the Future Life, and this is from February 1980. So this magazine covers a whole bunch of stuff, but in the Star Trek section here, that's pretty cool, ad. They have basically something covering the motion picture. So when I have some time, I know I want to go and look at this watch. That's one thing I like, is looking at these old ads and seeing all these old things here, but an old Star Trek watch. Very nice. But this one has a feature story here covering the motion picture, which would be cool to sit down and read at some point. So that was, they had, the guy had a ton of these kind of sci-fi magazines. They had like a cover story that featured something about Star Trek that I wanted to get, but like I said, I had to kind of pick and choose. So what I did choose to get was these bad boys. So this is the Star Trek giant poster book. And this is number one, the special collector's issue. And what this is basically is a giant poster. And we'll go ahead and unfold the first one here, just so we can have a look. Let's see. But within each fold here, you have different articles. So there's like your beginning editorial, and then different articles about the enterprises or the enterprise, and let's see if we can get that in there. There we go. Big article on the cage. Scenes unproduced. Ooh, that would be an interesting read. Nice article on Spock. And then we'll have to go all the way back. Have a look at the poster here, which is the Enterprise trapped in the Tholian web. So, oh, I hope I get this right. Hey, I did. All right, first try. So, that is the giant poster book number 1. And it even had a nice little insert ad inside with a concert guide for that year. So if you're interested in seeing the Beach Boys that year, they were playing in Hartford on August the 24th. So, what else do we have? More giant poster books. So let's jump into this. And we won't look too close at all of them, but giant poster book number 7 here. You can see is going to be a nice Kirk. So let's actually take a good look at that here. Look. So I grabbed all of these that the guy had, and definitely will take the time to read through and see what kind of like hidden gems are to be found within these ones here. And this looks like published 1977. So, and they also have a trivia quiz on the back. Ooh, let's do that. All right, guys, pay attention here. Answer this in the comments down below. In which first season episode does Captain Kirk enter a ship's turbo lift and arrive at his destination wearing a different tunic? I don't know. Do you know? Well, let me know if you do. The answers are in there, so we can look at that next time. But like I said, I picked up the rest of the giant poster books he had, which was 8, 9, and 10. So before we get to what's after 10, which we will stealthily cover up with 9, we'll take a closer look at 10 here. So, giant poster book number 10 features a Smithsonian report with pictorial inspections of the miniatures as they are today. Well, that's pretty interesting. So let's open that. Oh, the poster looks good. That actually is really cool. So check that out. So here's the Smithsonian report featured in number 10 here of the giant poster book. So kind of like written out like a a data file you would have to pull, but again, something I really would like to read in and find out more about. So I'm gonna check that out for sure. But the poster in this one, check this out. Oh, the original Klingons, right? Look at that. So, man. I am really glad that I picked these up. I had not seen these anywhere else, which is always kind of what I look for, is something that I've not seen before. So, but let's get right down to the final 2, which again are something that I've never seen before, which I thought were just too cool. So, all about Star Trek fan clubs. Here we have a Star Trek fan club guide for fan clubs, biographies, portraits, episodes, fanzines, trekkers, and more. So, and this really, I got to be careful with it too because it's just about to fall off. But here's the back cover there. The Fan World of Trekkers. So this magazine, I looked briefly through this one and then the other one here we're going to look at, but uh, lots of very interesting articles, transcriptions of interviews from back in the day. A lot of those, it looks like. But I guess one of the things that I really like about it is all of the, what I'm assuming is just, like original fan art that people did at the time. So, first off, the cover looks awesome, of course. But going inside, you have these nice sketches here. Look at this nice Gene Roddenberry. This Kirk. So, lots of nice sketches in here. We said interesting articles. I think this one includes like a whole, what's that about Mark Leonard? Oh God, there goes the whole thing. Article about Mark Leonard in there. So, again, something that hopefully someday I can sit down and have the time to flip through and actually pay it. Ooh, look at that. Baylock. So, all this kind of really old behind the scenes stuff is cool, and you never know what kind of secret thing that's going to be in here that you're going to find that somehow hasn't found its way onto the internet yet. So we have two of these, and they were the only two the guy had, and if he had any more, I probably would have picked them up. But here's this one with this wonderful Kirk here. And let's just take a flip through that as well. Oh, I love the cover opens up into a very cool poster, which I was very tempted to pull off. But we're going to leave it on for now. See, look at that. There's some original fan art that someone sent in, probably. That you're just going to see here and only here. Oh, and here's another one, too. Let's go ahead and just read one of these letters here, too, while we're at it. Enclosed is my rendering of Starbase 10, the one used in court-martial. Sent in by Larry Gipe of Aperso, Maryland. Thanks for the art. We believe you mean Starbase 11, however. Commodore George Stocker's Starbase 10 was in the episode The Deadly Years. Man, they called Larry out on that, didn't they? But Larry did a fantastic job. Check that out. Starbase 10 or 11. Whatever. So, leave Larry alone. It's fine. Let's read a couple more of these. I wish I was an adult. Then I could drive to Trek cons. I can't wait till spring when I fly my Mr. Spock kite. I have made my own Trek t-shirt with Crayola fabric crayons. We watch Star Trek all the time. If you need money to support your magazine, I will donate money. And that is nice. When will the new movie be out? I am not a very good speller, even though I am pretty old. I am 12 years old. And that was sent in by a young Paul DeSelle out of Bloomington, Illinois. They respond, Dear Paul, yours is the longest letter we have yet received. We quote from it above. You were 2 when Star Trek first appeared on the screen, but you will be 13 when the movie appears. This is cool. I like these fan letter things. So this, again, I think this probably for me, these two magazines were definitely the find of the day. And here's the thing, too. When I went to the guy, here's a nice Shatner here. When I went and I saw the guy had sci-fi magazines, I started kind of pawing through. And he says, I have some more over here if you want to look through those. And I'm like, well, I'm really looking for Star Trek. And he's like, well, I think there's some Star Trek in there. And lo and behold, he had some nice Star Trek in there. And that's when I picked up the first giant poster books. I did that yesterday. But then today I went back because he was like, I think I got a couple more at home. And he did. And that is when I picked up these fan club books. And that wonderful comic we looked at the beginning. So, man, this one features like a whole roll call of the fan club or something as well. But, I love looking through these old retro magazines. I love looking at the ads. I love reading the letters. This would be good. Here's an interesting, it's a comparison. Trekkers speaking out Star Wars and Star Trek. And it's just fun to kind of see things, from a different time, from a different perspective. So these two magazines definitely worthy find of the day there, I would say. But the little TV, very cool as well too. So I definitely enjoyed that. So that's gonna be loud. Now, where we are at as far as Captain, please. Excuse me. Okay. I am currently reading through TNG number 25, Grounded by David Bischoff, which at first I was having a little trouble getting into. And I think it was excuse me. I think it was partly because I wasn't giving it a lot of time reading it, and also because I just wasn't maybe feeling that well for that week. But now that I've gotten into it, I'm finding that it's kind of reminding me of an episode that maybe couldn't get made, so they turned it into a book. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I expect I'll probably finish it up tonight or tomorrow, which means we'll be having a new book review video coming out real soon too. So, also a few other things I would love to do, and hopefully we'll have the time, is show you guys my complete Playmates collection, which I've pretty much got in order, as you can see behind me right there on that shelf, and there's more, and then across the way there hanging on the wall is all the rest. So I'm thinking a tour of all that is in order as well, which would be pretty fun. Oh, last but not least, look at this t-shirt. My Starbase 80 t-shirt came in yesterday, which I was so pumped about, and I think I've got two or three more coming in from the Lower Decks t-shirt club, which I highly recommend. I mean, if you love Star Trek t-shirts, they do the best Star Trek t-shirts. This one is fantastic. It might be my favorite of the set, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for diving into these wonderful Star Trek retro magazines and having some fun with me today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And we'll be back soon to talk about more Trek books and more fun Trek stuff. So, as always, everybody, live long and prosper. We'll see you next time. Bye.